The Battle of Freedom Fields. We've already studied the English Civil War, and we know that it affected all of the country. However, in Plymouth, the Battle of Freedom Fields affected the city directly. It is December 1643, and the Civil War is being fought throughout England. The town of Plymouth, immensely important because of its port and naval base, is strongly supporting Parliament's side and the forces of Cromwell. It is of vital importance to the king that he gains control of Plymouth, so he has sent Prince Maurice, his nephew, and a royalist army to capture the town. But the people of Plymouth have defended their town successfully, ringing it with defences which the royalists have been unable to breach. They cannot break into the city. The king and his army have surrounded the town, are trying to starve the people of Plymouth into submission and surrender. This is the Siege of Plymouth. In this first activity, you will play the part of a soldier in Prince Maurice's army. He has trusted you with the difficult task of finding out the best way to successfully attack the town. The royalist army is becoming restless, and Prince Maurice has promised them that they will spend Christmas Day in Plymouth. This time of year, you certainly don't want to be surrounding Plymouth and stuck up on the moors. The first thing that you will therefore have to do as Prince Maurice's soldier is to familiarise yourself with the local area around the city, and therefore you need to have a map of the town and its surrounding villages, and most importantly, its defences. Now, you will have been given a map, and on that map, what I would like you to do initially is to mark the defences that Parliament have built and marked as triangles on your outline map and colour these in red. I then want you to do the same but for your royalist positions. Marked as circles on your map and colour these yellow. Now obviously you can use alternative colours if you don't have those too, but your map must have a key. Thirdly, on your map you need to find out the details of local villages. What are their names? Referring to the detailed map, transfer the names onto your map using the 17th century spellings. You'll notice that some of these are familiar, some of these may be slightly unfamiliar. But certainly what you'll notice is just how small Plymouth was before the Civil War, as many of these villages that are way outside the city are now part of Plymouth's suburbs. Once this first task is completed and you are familiar with Plymouth, its surroundings and its defences, you can report to the Prince. Your next task is to gather the information for the Prince on the best plan to attack the town. You've sent spies out to gather information and they come back with the following points. Okay. The royalists, the king, you control the countryside around the city. Cornwall, on the other side of the River Tamar, supports the king as well. But the navy, and therefore control of the seas, are in the hands of Parliament. Now, without control of the sea, Charles can't get any kind of support from France, which is where his wife is from. The defences of Plymouth are strongest to the north of the town, and you would lose many men if you attacked here. But if you got directly through those defences at the north of the city, Plymouth could be easily taken. Okay. Although the eastern and western approaches to Plymouth are not so well defended, there are many tidal creeks in the areas which would be difficult to transport an army, horses and weapons across. Remember, Plymouth to the west has the River Tamar between it and Cornwall, a very wide, a very long and a very deep river. To the east, the Plym separates Plymstock, where we are, from the main part of the city of Plymouth. Now, although the river isn't deep, as it says, there are many tidal creeks and the water there is shallow and very deep with mud. Considering all of these points, complete the table to help Prince Maurice decide on the best plan of attack, weighing up the fors and the againsts of each option. Then, write your plan in as much detail as possible to Prince Maurice. Now, here is the table that you're going to complete. So as we go through each one of these, please make sure that you know exactly what the terms mean. So, option number 1, blockade the town. Surround it. Don't allow anything in or out. Starve the town. Number 2, attack the fort to the north of the town. Thirdly, attack from the east, that is from Plymstock across the River Plym. Attack from the west, from Cornwall across the River Tamar. Fifthly, attack from the sea, from the south. Come into Plymouth Sound and attack that way. 6, any other solution. Be imaginative, be creative. It could be a combination of more than one. The choice is yours. Once you've reached your conclusions, write your letter to Prince Maurice. Now, the best plan would not only explain why your choice is the best, it would also explain why the other choices are not as good. Convince the prince that you have thought through all the options, and convince him why your plan of attack is the best. Please feel free on this activity to go onto extra paper or into your books. Okay. The next activity is to identify some key information, some key facts about the battle itself. So the Battle of Freedom Fields took place where the park is in Plymouth today. It's where the hospital, the maternity hospital, stood until fairly recently. What was a battlefield 400 years ago, today is a park for leisure and recreation. But in the dark hours of the morning of Sunday the 3rd of December 1643, 400 of the King's musketeers made a surprise attack on the fort at Lara Point. The guards at the fort managed to warn the town, and a force of cavalry and musketeers rushed out to fight the King's men. At that point, many of the main cavalier, the main King's army, moved forward into the Lipson Valley and clashed with the Roundheads on Lipson Hill. The battle raged for over 4 hours until the Royalists began to retreat. Many of the King's men were killed or captured as they tried to escape across Lipson Creek, as the tide was coming in. The place where the battle happened was named Freedom Fields because it was where the people of Plymouth won their freedom from the king who was besieging them. Now, based upon that text, answer the basic questions. So you here are reading for meaning. You are extracting information from the text. Next, moving on. Imagine you were at the battle. Look at the list below and underline the words that you think are the right ones. If you believe you can add any extra words that you think are appropriate, please do in your book. When you do this, please make sure you have an extension sticker to identify that you have gone further. For some of these, you might want to say why. And again, if you choose to do that, write because next to any one of these words, and again, get an extension sticker. Using these words and adjectives and understanding, now write a creative story about the battle based upon what you have learned so far. You can incorporate any of the activities that you've done on this page, or go right back to the beginning where you plan your attack using the map work and the information you've done from the tactics that you're going to use, and of course you could be on either side of the battle. And on the final page, we provided you with the space where you can do this.